Being a diver is bad enough, with the risk of decompression which can cause all sorts of problems. But diving in caves takes things to a whole new level. In a pitch-black cave, it's easy to lose your bearings, have problems with your air supply, or even get eaten by a big vicious creature. It's one of the most dangerous sports in the world. But it's also one of the most rewarding. The risky nature of the sport means that lots of the caves are unexplored, and some of them have flora and fauna found nowhere else on Earth. John, what does an underwater cave look like?
Well, firstly, if you can imagine being in a very dark room and you see nothing until you turn on a torch or a light, and suddenly you're inside this big space or big long tunnel, rock all around you, and only lit by your torchlight. And some of these go for a long, long, long way, and others are just like big holes in the ground with a very small access to it.
Wow, whereabouts are they found?
You can find them currently all over Australia, but the most popular place that we have is in Mount Gambier in South Australia, where we have lots of holes available to a person very easily. Otherwise, you can go to the Nullarbor in Western Australia or up in the Kimberleys, or there are caves in Queensland, Genola in New South Wales, and even down here in Tassie, there are quite a number of caves as well.
So we've got some pretty good underwater cave sites here in Australia, aren't we?
Rates exceptionally high in the world. We have lots of overseas cave divers that come here just for the cave diving that we offer here in Australia.
But before you get your flippers on ready to go cave diving, you'll need to undergo some serious training.
So before you can cave dive, you need to be a scuba diver first. And then after about a year or two of scuba diving in a normal open water environment, we take you through different levels of cave diver training, which is available here in Australia from an organisation such as the Cave Divers Association, where they'll actually teach you to go further and further into a cave. Other organisations throughout the world also have that type of training in their caves. So cave diving is so very different to ocean diving because you don't get the surf and the wind and the waves crashing around underwater in a cave, and the fish life and the animal life is so different in a cave compared to the ocean. You get eels and you get fish without eyes, and you get little shrimps that work their way around the bottom there, and it's so different, and that's some of the attraction that takes you to caves as opposed to the ocean.
One key difference between regular diving and cave diving is the equipment that the divers use. Paul, I know cave divers would need a wetsuit and flippers, but what other equipment do they need?
Yeah, unlike a recreational diver which uses a single cylinder when they go diving, as a cave diver, one of the fundamental things is we take 2 cylinders with us, which backs up our air supply. We also take multiple dive masks, usually 2, maybe 3. We also take multiple dive computers. And also we use, over and above, we use reels, which are used for, this dive here is used for longer diving. This one's here is used for maybe attaching a line in between some lines.
Okay, cool.
Also, we use more high-powered torches. As you saw earlier in the story, the caves were very, very dark, so we use very high-powered torches, and if this torch fails, it goes very dark very quickly, so we also back up our light source as well.
Okay, what about this big thing?
Okay, that's a diver propulsion vehicle, or a DPV. We actually use that to get more exploration into a cave, so more distance. Some of our caves could be 2 or 3 kilometres long. That's a long swim.
Yes.
So we actually use these guys to get in and out of the cave and see the cave.
Well, now that I've spoken to the experts and got all the gear, all I need to do is take some training, find a cave, and work up the courage to explore it.